Okay, we're on.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to open the Parks and Recreation meeting for March.
I'll second.
Okay, before we begin, I would like to make a motion to add 2 items to the agenda that had come up in the last day or so. One is a quick discussion about Parks and Recreation sports programming concerns that were brought to the committee. And the second item is to discuss that starting next month, the meetings will be moved to in-person. So can I have a motion to add those 2 items to the agenda? I can't see.
Kristen, yeah,
I'll second
Kristen made a motion. I saw Heather second.
Okay. Okay, good. Should we do the minutes first? We
Yeah.
have
My
the
book.
minutes. Well, January's was short. We have the minutes from January 2022. Do we have to do them separately or can we do them at the same time?
I think you have to do them separately. Yeah,
Okay.
like January and then, yeah.
Does anybody have any changes to the January minutes that after reading them through? Okay, if nobody has any changes, can I have a motion to approve? And a second?
Motion. Short, people.
That was Kristen and Heather again.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like I typed them, so I shouldn't be making the motion.
And then we have the minutes from February 2022.
Novel.
I had one correction just
Oh.
on the St. Patrick's Day parade. The date is March 20th. It says the 22nd, but I had
Oh.
written 22nd in my notes too, but it's the 20th.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it was, okay, I think then we said the wrong date or I typed the wrong date.
Maybe.
Okay, so I'll correct the St. Patrick's Day to the 20th. St. Pat Parade.
Did any-
3/20.
Have
Okay.
any other corrections? No? Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the February 2022 minutes with the correction?
Heather,
Yep.
we need a second. Kristen,
I'll second it.
Carla,
Carla.
give
Oh.
Carla, we'll give Carla props on that one.
Whatever.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Carrie, for typing them up.
A plus.
The labor of love.
Jason, what should we start with, the lights or the?
Yeah, we could do the lights and then we'll just go down first bullet straight down. Tina,
Okay.
maybe we should do the 2 additional items before the Parks and Rec. You know what I mean? We'll do the
Okay.
Lanza Field, Florence Park, and then we'll do Parks and Rec and then the in-person meeting thing, and then we'll do updates as we do at the end. All right. All right. Did everyone has the agenda? Did you read by any chance, did anyone read the memo about the field lights that I sent to the manager's office?
I read it.
No.
I did.
Yes, no. All right, let me just sum it up real quick, just to give a brief, and then if questions, we'll do all that. So the lights were installed on Lanza Field in Haran Park. They were installed in the 80s. I don't know the exact date because that number is kind of hard to track down, but they were sold sometime in the 80s. These are halogen bulbs, so they're super old. They like those ones that warm up, that need time to warm up. And the lifespan at the time was about 25 years. So they're well past due. We got a proposal through Sourcewell State Contract through Musco, which is like the premier people that do field lighting. And the field lights that we have now were originally, they're a Musco product, so it makes sense in terms of retrofit. And we were going to turn them to LED, to the sports cluster system, which gives you some technology along with the energy efficient lights. So the price on the project is $244,000, and there is a return on investment at the end of the quote description. I mean, there's a lot of information there, like technical stuff about what they do and how they do it. But there's like great advantages to LED. One, reduction in energy costs. So depending on how you can dim these lights. So depending on their level of brightness, you can reduce your consumption by as much as 80%. We're probably going to be in like the 50s because we're going to use them for sports. But if they're on for a concert, they don't need to be as bright as if you're doing like a sporting event. Maintenance costs. So Musco provides all the maintenance costs for 10 years. That's huge for us. So those bulbs that we have up there now, they go out quite often. We change one, the one next to it will go out. And those are, it takes big machinery and lifts to get up there, and it's thousands and thousands of dollars every time we have to bring them in to change bulbs. We have one light pole that has a damaged wire going up the pole. So we have like a whole set that's out, and they would need to run a whole new wire to even fix that. So we didn't do that. Material longevity, the lights last longer. Like I said, so we won't have to change like those old school incandescent bulbs out. They last like 25 times longer, LEDs, just like your household bulb would.
Jason, you said that they'll do the maintenance for 10 years?
10 years. So if a light goes out, the village doesn't have to go and hire, like I hire Shock Electric to come in, or Jeff will hire Shock Electric to come in with all their machinery, get up there. No, Musco will take care of it. They'll come in, they'll bring the machinery, and they'll fix it for 10 years. So we won't have to pay a penny on maintenance costs. And the reason they do that is because they're pretty confident that they won't even need to come for 10 years because the product is that good, like, yeah. So they're pretty confident that they won't even, chances are they won't have to come to our site within 10 years because those lights are that well built. Safety and security. Obviously now, if you ever seen the field in use at night, there's some dark spots, and it's not ideal. Bulbs are out, positioning is off over the years. So that issue will be taken, along with security lights underneath the lights. So when the main lights aren't on, we'll have ambient lighting up like the pathway, the grass area. So that side of the park doesn't feel like it's pitch black if somebody's walking at 5 o'clock on a Thursday in December. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like there'll be a little bit more ambient lighting, which is nice, which we don't have now. Remote operation, which is huge. So right now, if Larchmont Mamaroneck football club, wants to rent out Lanza Field, they have to pay a Parks Department employee to turn the lights on and off, and as well as the energy cost of the lights, which is a ridiculous amount. It's like $250 or so for a few hours. So we would eliminate having the organizations to have a Parks Department overtime employee, because we can turn them off remotely on your phone, on the computer. You can even call, they have like a call center, you can even call them up. So we could all have that all scheduled, which is nice. So that's good for remote operation. The other big thing is minimum demand fee. So right now that we pay our bills to the New York Power Authority, and the Power Authority charges a fee for potential use. So they charge the village, depending on how many kilowatts we use, they charge us a minimum demand charge. So they're saying that they need to store up X amount of kilowatts of energy in order to be ready for the Village of Mamaroneck to turn those field lights on. When you go to LED, you reduce that because your kilowatts, you're still going to have a small fee, but our kilowatts are going to go down drastically. So that's going to bring that minimum demand fee down. Right now, we pay, I want to say it's almost $1,500 in the winter when the lights aren't on. Like it's snow on the ground, because there's a minimum demand fee, because we use so much kilowatts, because the bulbs are so old. So the return on investment is the Musco is telling us, based on our electrical bills and everything, that the 10-year utility ownership is about $129,737. That includes, there's multiple things to that. That's not just electricity, that's overtime costs, that's maintenance costs. I think the utilities is around 50, double check. 124,416 on just utility, and that's over 10 years. So we figure, just if we didn't rent the lights out at all and we didn't monetize the lights in a more affordable way for the leagues, we just did what we were doing, using them for recreation programs in-house, we would pay them off in 19 years. And the lights will last 30 plus, I would say. So it's a product that pays for himself. And it would be a capital project in our capital plan. So the board would have to, it would go to the board of trustees, and if they so desired, they would be able to approve it as a capital funding project, and we would go from there. Yeah,
Can I ask 2 questions?
sure.
The first question is there not a requirement to get more than one bid on a project this size? And the second question is, now I see you have it funded through the capital budget. And at the last meeting, you said it would be bonded.
So I thought it would be bonded, but Jerry's telling me it's going to be done through the capital budget. I don't really have a choice on it. Second question, it's a state contract, so we got this off a purchasing agreement, so we don't have to go out to bid.
Head out to bid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be Sourcewell purchase contract, then there's a number. So anything that's on a bid like that, we wouldn't have to go out. Now, for example, Jeff wants to do the Lansing Field backstop. There is no state contractor for something like that. We have to do a bid, sealed bid, the whole process. For this one, we lucked out. This is not playgrounds. We get it with playgrounds too. We can do it off playground, like where we don't have to go out to bid for playground equipment. But there's certain things we do. We're lucky enough isn't one. I feel like it's so niche that like there's not that many vendors, sports lighting vendors out there. So they do a procurement thing.
Do you know anybody else that use them? Like they're a good company?
Yeah, everyone uses Musco. Yankee
Okay.
Stadium, every major sports, everyone. I don't even know anyone who doesn't use Musco, to be honest with you. Yeah, they're kind of a conglomerate. There is other smaller brands out there, but they do every major NFL baseball stadium all the way down to high schools. Like MHS has Musco as well. The ones that over there, yeah.
So Jason, you just want us to vote on it so that you can say
Yeah,
the
thoughts.
mission says yes when it goes to the Board of
Um,
Trustees in 2 weeks, right?
Yes, that's helpful, but also I'm open for discussion, thoughts, anything. But yes, ultimately, I would like to either way vote yes or no on it.
Long overdue.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been working on this one for a while, Carlo. I've been pushing it,
Yeah, I
pushing
know.
it. And this is the first opportunity the board would, potentially want to go for it. So, oh wait,
Yes.
Nora's in. Hold on. Let me move Nora to panelist. Trustee Lucas, I think. There we go.
Thank you.
Sorry, I hope you weren't waiting long. I was talking
No,
and I didn't see the
No,
attendance
and I
thing.
saw Tina's husband and daughters, the younger daughters. I was at the police ceremony, so it was,
I
just
sent
got-
that.
that was nice.
So-
Trustee Lucas, just to catch you up, we just opened the meeting. We added 2 items onto the agenda and we approved the minutes. And now we're talking about the field lights, item 1.
Thank you.
So I just gave a little talk on the field lights, and then we had a few questions, and I think we're still going with questions or comments.
And the other thing that's also is long overdue, but also the cost savings as well, Jason. I mean, we got all the LEDs on the street and they were supposed to be done at the same time. So, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer in my arena.
From my understanding, with talking with village employees who've been here a little bit longer than me, is that everything is LED except the field lights. All
Right.
the other park lights I know are LED, but so, yeah. And we're going to save a lot of money, and it's going to open up a lot. The good thing about it is going to open up for youth programs, for the leagues to be able to take advantage of it, for games in the evenings. Like, that's the good thing about it. So I think it's a win for the community.
Yeah, the soccer league is definitely going to be happy. The only
Yeah.
field used with lights is Mamaroneck High School, and it's so limited
Right.
So-
We're
Not
lucky
me.
to be.
too, because you'll be renting it more too, I think.
Yeah, we'll be renting it more, and that's why I think the return on investment is actually be a little bit sooner than 19. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to calculate that. But
Right.
so yeah, any other comments, questions?
I think it's great.
Thank you.
I do. I think it's fantastic. I think the savings is beneficial. As Carla said, long overdue. I like the idea of, like you were talking about that, having the ambient lighting, which we don't have the capability of now for when it gets darker or people walking. I think the whole thing should be done for sure.
Yeah, and it's not no one's gonna notice it. So like you're gonna look up and be like, oh, there's lights. There's no visible change, but once those lights go on and the kids are using them in adult programs with leagues and all that, it's gonna be great. So
There won't
Is
be
there-
any whoops, sorry, Tina, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, is there a time limit as to how late you're allowed to keep the lights on?
So I've been told that it's 10 p.m. I don't know if that's like a village code. I haven't seen anything, but we usually try to stick to 10 p.m. like softball, but whatever we're doing, unless it's like a concert or 4th of July, where it's like sometimes the concerts go later, we turn the lights on at the end, or 4th of July. But we don't really have them on past 10.
Okay.
But that might be something if we're going to be using them for youth programs and stuff, and we'll have to maybe try to get the board to, or whomever the right body is, including us, to talk about what the curfew would be if let's say soccer wanted to go to 11 p.m. Would that be acceptable? And I think that's a community decision and a board decision as well. So
So
Okay.
just some history on that. There was a lot of resistance from the people from Orienta when they initially were installed. And I think, there was some sort of compromise, that they were going to get cut off at 10 o'clock, with the exception of, say, the 4th of July or special events. But
Yeah,
initially it was tremendous uproar.
they're not going to be on. I mean, we use them 4 to 5 days a week in the spring summer months, and they're never on past 10, unless it's a rare circumstance. But that's because we program it that way. But like, let's say soccer wanted to do it, we will just have to say it's a hard cutoff 10 p.m. and that's the curfew for the lights. So
Good luck.
and the other beneficial, now that you're talking about Orienta and stuff, is the light spill off. So when you look, if we like took an aerial shot of the lights right now, the bulbs are so old and that they spill off like onto the sand, towards the flagpole, towards the playground, where they position these lights where there'll be no spill off. It will light the field and it will just light the field, which is nice. Whereas you're not going to get ambient light going into potentially people's homes. You know what I mean? So.
So you need
Do
us
we-
to vote?
So we
do you
need
guys,
to,
yeah, let's
right?
take so you guys want to take a vote?
So I make a motion to approve the go-ahead to do the Lanza Field capital project, retrofitting the lights.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank
that
you.
I heard everyone. That was okay.
Thank you all. Just an update. So now this will go to the board. Dan will get the information and it will go to the board March 14th, I was told. So I will make sure to update the memo to reflect everyone's vote. And then we'll see what happens from there.
Okay.
Jeff, you want to take the next item? Florence Park Playground damaged rubber surface removal and replacement, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody's been around Florence Park recently, but the rubber surface that's down has started to come up in big sections, and it's really creating a tripping hazard now. I had a few companies out there, and they're all in agreement that the product was not installed correctly the first time. This is why we're having this issue.
Jeff, do you mind if I just share my screen? Maybe I could pull up it so we could look at the pictures and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you. It's just hard to do that on my laptop.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to try to do it right now. Let's go up. Let me zoom in a little bit. Does everyone see the right screen? Yeah,
Mhm.
I hope.
All right, wait, this requires glasses to see that small. All right, shoot.
Can I zoom in more? Is it good?
Yeah, you could zoom in probably 2 more times.
I can't see it from my screen. From my screen, it looks
You're
huge.
good.
Okay, you know?
You're
It's
good.
fine. Right.
Okay.
Good.
Do that one more time.
That looks
yeah,
like
that's good.
Australia.
All right, everyone can see the pictures, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Jeff, just let me know if you want me to scroll or anything.
Yeah, so as you could see on the picture on the right, a big area has became exposed of the underlayment, and it's right near the monkey bars.
oh, yeah.
So if a kid's running by and catches one of those edges, they could go head first right into the pole to the monkey bar. What this picture doesn't show, Jay, if you want to scroll down one more.
Yeah.
Yep, you can stop there. There's another one near the little spiral climber. And then the picture on the right shows how uneven the surface has gotten over the years, where actually when it rains, it's basically like a pond. Scroll down, Jay. So on the picture on the left, all these black spots and dark spots, this is what the edges are. You basically could lift them up and you could go right under them. So the adhesion between the top layer and the base layer is just totally gone. You could just scroll so they can see the rest of the pictures, Jay.
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Hey
And
guys,
I will say, as like a parent, I will say, like, with little kids, that was always my biggest fear, is them tripping when they were running and like falling on their face.
Yeah.
hey guys, have you guys closed? I mean, shut it down because of liability and so forth.
Well, as of right now, we cut back more than these pictures show. We just took a razor knife and cut back the flaps to where it doesn't lift up like that.
Okay,
I hate to shut down the park
understood.
without having the plan in place. I just don't
I
want
hear
to
you.
shut down the park and then it'd be a couple weeks until the plan actually gets figured out.
And then you have some
Um,
screaming parents as well.
Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on it. Like on the swirly part that you climb up, we actually cut that rubber back further so there was no tripping hazard in front of it. So
Just looking at liability, Jeff, that's all.
yeah, we've been keeping an eye on it, but unfortunately, we're not under warranty anymore. I've been fighting tooth and nail to try and get the company that installed it to man up and realize that they made a mistake, but to no avail. We would like to put rubber surface back down, but the problem is spending the money on a new surface on old playground equipment. Right now, it just doesn't make sense to do that. So the easiest and safest fix for this would be to rip up the rubber surface and put wood chips back for now until we have the capital to redo that park and playground equipment.
Why would you do wood chips instead of those like rubber recycled, like tire bouncy things? Or is that basically the same thing?
It's basically the same thing. I'm trying to save as much money as I can now to be able to spend it when we actually redo the park, because those tire wood chip are pretty expensive, whereas engineered fiber wood chips are a cheaper option, and they're a little more temporary than the rubber ones. So I wouldn't feel as bad if it only lasted 2 years. I wouldn't feel as bad throwing away, a couple $1,000s worth of wood chips rather than a few $1,000s worth of rubber wood chips.
Can
Depends
you,
on when you think you're gonna be able to replace everything in this park.
Yeah.
Which
Say that
Yes.
again. You
seems like it
froze
could
up on
be,
me.
it could be 5-10 years at the rate we're going.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we get back on the schedule of every few years we start revisiting, redoing parks. This way, it doesn't get as bad as it is. If we revisit doing parks on a few year cycle, I believe it would actually cost a little bit less to redo them because you're not dealing with rotted fencing, uneven walkways. Everything stays fresh and you could catch it every few years instead of, let's say, I don't even know how long Florence Park has been in there since, I think, 2013. I think this is when the floor went down.
I think it was that long ago, but that's what I'm trying to remember.
I
Yeah.
think it was 2013, 14 is when Florence Park was done. It's one of the newer playgrounds.
Yeah,
But
so
when you
Florence,
say done, you just mean the floor. The equipment
the
wasn't
floor,
redone
right?
in 2000. No, that
No, the
equipment is old.
That equipment's old, but I think the floor was done.
yeah, the floor, I believe, was 2014. That's what the dates on the paperwork and the files I have.
Right,
Really?
because-
Was that long ago?
That could have been when they started discussing it, but it's around that time.
And Jeff, I just forwarded you an email that, because I just noticed you weren't on it, that somebody had emailed about the park and the condition of the actual equipment, that there were like screws missing and something about the bridge. I
Yeah,
forwarded
we-
to you.
we go through the park on a monthly basis, and we realize that there's screws missing and stuff. They've been ordered. We're just waiting for them. Everything's safe with those couple missing screws. We checked it out. I had one of the playground contractors actually puts playgrounds together come out for me and take a look over, and he felt that it wasn't necessary to close the parks because of those missing pieces.
Hey,
So
Jeff, sorry. It's not the
That's-
same manufacturers we have down at the Harbor Island, right? Where you can't get the parts for the playground?
No, this playground is easier to get parts because I believe it's Miracle, but Miracle took over Little Tykes. I believe this is a Little Tykes park.
Okay.
So it's easier to get equipment for Little Tykes. You know, the screws and stuff still match up.
Harbor Island Playground, Carl, is a different story. That stuff is from Canada, and
Yeah.
that playground is not. It's impossible to find parts
Yeah.
for. This one's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah. So my suggestion to the committee, and if we could vote on it to bring it to the board, would be to rip out the rubber surface and replace with wood chips and put it on one of the next parks to be done.
But Jeff, the whole thing is the one down at Harbor Island also has to be redone as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's an automatic, and that, I mean, I don't need to tell you.
Yeah. I
so-
actually have a meeting with the Harbor Island.
Service.
Yeah. And they're the ones who got a lot of donations for the playground last time.
Correct.
And they're willing to come out and meet again and, you know, start a discussion of what needs to happen down there. So we've
Right.
met a couple times during the winter, but we're really starting to fatten down and really start talking about what needs to be done down there.
Excellent.
So fingers crossed.
So
You
when
know,
you're,
that's-
when
That's
you're
one of
saying,
the, oh, sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So Harbor Island Park is one of the busiest parks in Westchester. If anybody's been down there on a Saturday and Sunday, it is just jam-packed and kids running all over the place. And it's just a shame because half of the stuff that breaks on that playground is almost impossible to replace. So now you're left with, instead of, for instance, the climbing chains, all snapped. So I actually had to take the climbing ladder down and block off that part of the playground because we cannot get parts to it.
Can I
That's-
ask, have we started looking at vendors yet for the playground, for new playground equipment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in this
We have-
agenda.
We have vendors. I've been in talks with a lot of vendors, and we've actually had a couple vendors out and since our last meeting, giving prices on Jefferson Park. So
And it's going back, Jeff, like you said, we used to have, you know, a schedule. And we've gone off the tracks with that scheduling, whether if it's for the surface or replacing the equipment itself. So hopefully soon we'll be able to address one of the parks completely with
Yep.
the equipment.
that's later on in the agenda. But I
Right.
also want to mention I've been in contact with a company called Soft Surfaces. They do a lot of playgrounds in New York City, and we're actually in talks to actually certifying the Parks Department as installers. This way, if something happens, something breaks, it does not ruin a warranty. So they'll do a 15-year warranty with us if we are certified installers.
Oh,
So with the poured in rubber, it's only a 5-year warranty. So, you know, to get another 10 years on playgrounds surfacing, I think is excellent. So that's something we're in talks with, looking towards the future of redoing parks.
Okay, so for Florence Park, then you're suggesting putting the temporary wood or whatever chips until then you can replace the equipment and pour a new floor, correct?
Yes.
So if anybody's in disagreement, can you let us know? Otherwise, I'll make a motion to,
I just want to ask one question because I have a feeling, I mean, my kids aren't little anymore, but I remember when this got poured and everybody loved it. And I think if you put just wood chips down and not the tire chips, I would love to know the difference in price because I'll be honest, I mean, we could sit here on whatever day it is and we know we have, you know, 2 parks. We have Jefferson Avenue Park and we have the harbor that has to be replaced probably before you're going to get to Florence Park. So practically speaking, I don't know how we can sit here and say, oh, in 2 years, Florence Park is going to be redone. I wish I was that optimistic that was going to be the case, but Carlo is shaking his head and we all know it's probably going to be like 8 years before Florence Park gets done. So I think the wood chips are just not an adequate, you know, again, if you tell me the price is 2,000 versus 25,000, maybe that solves the answer. But if it's 2,000 versus 6,000, I would go with the rubber.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I think we could probably try to get you that information. Jeff, do you think you could figure out what those rubber pellets are, the rubber tire?
I have the information in my office. Let me just put together a little report and I'll send it out to you guys and give you the difference between the price of rubber chips and the price of engineered fiber wood chips.
And also what the replenishment is, because I believe with both, they're going to have to be topped up every year. So what is the topping up, you know, what's the lifespan? What's the topping up cost? And practically speaking, if we are looking at 6-8 years, what really makes sense?
I don't think we could wait personally, I don't think we could wait 6 to 8 years to redo
There's a lot
that
of things we
playground.
can't wait for, but we've had to wait.
We'd
You know,
love to
yeah.
do them all now, but we know that that's not going to happen. They're all
Yeah.
gonna-
Yeah.
I would agree with Kristen in that the wood chips are, you know, it literally, if it was just going to be a year, maybe a year and a half, I would totally be like, yeah, temporary fix. It's cheap. We know we're going to do the surface over, but it's not going to be that quick. I totally agree with Chris on that. And the rubber chips are probably just a better option. Obviously, as long as they're not, you know, 4 times the price, but yeah, I would agree. I'd want those numbers first to kind of just see how much more. I know they're more expensive. But yeah, I would want to see what those numbers were.
Okay. I'll put a
Definitely,
little-
definitely agree with doing chips of some kind temporarily, ripping it up and putting some kind of chip down. It's just a matter of what those chips are made of that I think
Yeah,
we
I'll-
have to figure out.
I'll put a little report together and I'll send it out to everybody.
I have a sense though that the staff you don't want to wait a whole month to make the request, right?
No, I'm good. What I would like to do is send the report out and have you guys look at it and then continue this discussion through email and
We can't,
hopefully.
but they can't. They have to have a
Oh.
meeting.
we can't vote.
Can't vote. So maybe what you want to do is set up just a short meeting where you all look at Jeff's report and then you discuss it like it, you know, you need 3 days to set up a meeting. And then that way you can get an answer to Jeff quickly because you can't deliberate over email.
Okay.
We can't say
weeks from
we
today or
agree that
something.
we want it replaced with chips and not specify what kind of chips we're replacing it with.
I mean,
And then we can just let Jeff know and he can make that decision. Like, we can't do it
Or-
like that.
it really
Or,
depends.
or can we give it a limit, say, as long as the rubber chips don't cost more than something?
But we don't
That's
even know
another
what they
question.
cost at all.
Does
Yeah.
it really need our approval? If it's a safety issue, at the end of the day, I think we're here to make a recommendation, but at the end of the day, he has to run the Parks Department. And
Right.
he can't make
Well,
decisions once a
we-
month when we sit here.
How do I say this? So you guys advise,
Right.
does he need your permission? No, but you are community members, you're stakeholders, you live in the area. It's nice to see what the community wants. So, you know,
Well, that's my
We can all
point, Jason,
offer
is
our
that if
opinion.
we
Yeah.
just, if we just said, yes, we agree for the rubber surface to be ripped up and replaced with some type of chip mulch material, Jeff can, and that's what we're approving, and then Jeff can just email us those numbers, we can give him our opinion, but ultimately he makes that decision. Does he not?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, that is accurate.
That's
Well,
probably-
can't you just give like option A and option B, like, wood chips are 10 and the fiber's 50 and submit it to the board? And I mean, ultimately they have the final decision.
Yeah, ultimately, the board has the final decision.
Right.
Because this is an emergency that, we weren't planning for. I hate to do it, but, I don't want someone getting seriously hurt.
I mean, that's
So,
the, so here's what I think. You all agree that Jeff is right. He's trying to protect the village from any liability and from any kid or adult from getting hurt. So your preference is the rubber chips if it's feasible. And Jeff has got to figure out what the most feasible thing is and then get the board to approve it. Does that make sense? I mean.
Yeah.
Because I think it
Absolutely.
is an emergency. I mean, you got to do it as soon as
It's an
possible.
and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, this is not something that can be done out of our operating budgets. We're gonna have to go to the board for funding.
yeah, this
pay for this,
is gonna be
right.
board funded.
So, right, okay.
That's why I think even more why we should try to do it like this, where we're saying, yes, rip up the surface, replace it with, the chips of some kind. We would prefer the rubber. That's what we think is the better option. Cost pending, like, something like that. Can we do that?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, could we just say we want to give the go ahead, but we prefer the rubber chips if it's possible?
Village will pay the cost.
Yeah, like I said, I have the numbers on it already. I'll
Yeah,
put them both in and it's ultimately up to the board.
correct. So. Go ahead.
So do we have to
Yeah.
vote? Do we have to actually, we all have to vote, right?
So can I have a motion to give the go ahead to rip up the rubber surface and preferably replace it with rubber chips if possible? Right? Is that fine?
Yep. Kristen, I'll second. Heather's also, all of us. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
1,
Aye.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're all in favor. I counted.
I have to leave in about 10 minutes. I don't know if there's anything else we need to vote on. I don't see anything on there, but if there's anything.
The next one, Jeff's just gonna give you preliminary designs. It's not a voting thing, just like
I have a few
so.
more minutes, so.
I'd like to show
let me share, Jeff.
park, the park before everybody leaves.
And while Jeff's starting to share, I sent an email about a LOHUD article about from 1915 and some other information. And Chris, I got a bounce back from you at the Vomni.net.
I'm getting all the other emails from everybody with the invitations for the Zooms and all these documents. That's weird.
I just sent it, so
You just sent it tonight?
and I just got a bounce back. So I used the list that the village, I just used the list, so.
What'd the bounce back say, Nora? Because sometimes they give a
It wasn't
reason.
Delivered because the recipient's email provider rejected it.
Oh, well, she has no
Hmm.
control over that.
I'm not the email provider. You guys are now.
Right. I'll ask Cliff.
Okay, that would be great.
Send it again, but I'll ask Cliff.
All right, everybody ready?
Betty,
So this is a rendering of Jefferson Avenue Park of the equipment.
Wait, Jeff,
Um,
you could see the picture of the playground just because it's hard. I can't tell.
Yes, yeah, it's
Okay,
perfect
good.
size too.
All right, good. Thank you.
So this is a rendering of what we're planning to do at Jefferson Avenue Park. I mean, there's a few things missing from this picture, is walkways, the basketball courts, all that. But this is the plan we came up with. Jay, if you want to go to the next, scroll down. This is the other side of the playground equipment. This equipment has ADA ramps, so children with special needs can actually enjoy a piece of the park themselves. We actually featured a fire truck in this park since the fire department's right across the street, which me and Jason think is a cool idea for the kids and keeps them interested in that kind of stuff.
Very cute.
Jay, you go to the next slide. Scroll down, please.
This one?
Yep. So as you can see, we're incorporating ramps. So the whole bottom section of the playground equipment can be accessed by ADA compliant kids. We have a few slide options over here, tic-tac-toe boards. I believe this blue thing with the little red dot in the middle is some kind of music feature. And then there's a whole bunch of group of monkey bars and stuff. The only thing that I would like to change is actually connecting the swing pad with the playground pad, because I don't like that little dead space. It causes tripping hazards for that little space.
And
So
weeds,
that's,
and
yeah,
weeds.
that's, yeah.
And weeds, yeah.
You go to the next one, Jay.
These are just other options. Okay, go ahead. We got a bunch of different designs, so.
Oh, actually, go back up. I just want to talk about the little kids area real quick. You can't really see it too good, but you know, the little kids area has a tic-tac-toe board. It has a little oh, there you go. It has a little like spaceship feature. It has 3 sides actually, and then this little blue thing to the right is actually infant climbing wall, they call it, which if anybody's been to Jefferson Avenue Park recently, basically all they have is a 1-step up piece of equipment with 2 slides.
Yeah.
No interaction, no nothing. They basically walk up it and slide down a little slide, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not very exciting.
Yeah,
No,
even
so,
a 2-year-old's gonna get bored in like 30 seconds.
yeah,
Like,
so we're trying to really upgrade that little area, because recently in the neighborhood there's a lot of young children who would use that. So that's that. And then if Jason just scrolls down, we went through a couple options. This one is a 2-tier, which it's okay, but I fear that parents won't like it because of the height of it. That's the other side of it. This one also has ramps, but the ramps have no interaction next to them. So if a child with disabilities decides to go on the playground, all he could basically do is walk up the ramps, and that's it. There's no
And
interaction.
the other one has the interaction with the tic-tac-toe and the music and stuff.
Yeah, the other one has the interaction.
this is a 3-tier, right? Yeah, 3-tier, another
This is
one.
This is the 3-tier, but once again, you know, little wary about the parents wanting their children to climb ladders, you know, that high up in the air.
My
Parents-
point, I didn't like it. Anything that needs a warning, do not climb on the outside of
Yeah.
this slide. It's not for me. Yeah, if we need to put a warning on the slide, yeah, it's not for me.
And then,
My only suggestion, I think that first one looked really cute. I would just say what I noticed in other places, sometimes when people redo the playgrounds, they incorporate these design elements that look cool, but are extraordinarily boring for the kids. Like, so sticking, I think, with the classic things that, you know, like this, just like a classic slide, monkey bars, like having those just classic elements, not these funky, weird looking structures that kids are supposed to climb on and then don't know what to do.
mhm,
Like, I would stay away from those. Like,
yeah, no,
you know, give me a good old fashioned like spin or a
this
nice
is,
twirly slide, and I think you're good.
yeah, this is old fashioned. This is, you know, it has a lot of monkey bar options. It has a lot of climbing aspects to it.
And it's
nice-
gotta have a good slide. You need a
Tattoo's
good
nice
slide.
This
Yeah.
has
Two, they have
spiral,
two nice slides.
a spiral and a straight.
And straight,
And then-
yeah.
And
then
it
on
has
the
a
o-
little height, but not too much height, you know, so.
And then on the other slide, on the other side of the two slides, there actually is a climbing feature. So the kids, you know, who want to climb could climb all they want.
Yeah,
So it gives a little bit of everything.
And you really don't want to make it two-tier also, Jeff, because parents just get stressed when, you know, little kids
Yeah.
wander
Correct.
off because they're, right. You
They
know, so,
They cage them in, Carlo, and to me, it looks like a prison up there, because obviously they
I
don't want
hear ya.
kids to fall out, so they put these
Mine
like
is-
cages, yeah.
yeah, mine is still there.
well, plus this playground is used by younger kids, so like, you know, you don't need something, you know, 3 tiers high for the little ones.
Right, it's used for, it's a younger demographic, the daycares.
sure.
and yeah, it's definitely a younger demographic for the park.
And it's pretty
Is it-
sizable also.
Is there room to add more swings so you have more than 4 swings? Because I just by like being at Stanley Park, there's never enough swings. And I think there's
Um,
4 there.
The problem with adding more swings, we talked about it, is I'm trying to find the perfect balance between keeping the grass area, keeping the basketball court, and keeping the trees in the middle right here, near the small one and the big one.
Okay,
So if we were to add more swings, then I'm taking away from the grass area. And if you've driven by the park recently, there's a lot of kids out in that grass area playing football, soccer, dodgeball, tag. So I don't want to take away the green space of the park just to
Okay.
add more swings.
okay.
We definitely don't want to remove trees unless they're dying. I mean, I hate to remove giant trees.
No, you
from the
need
park,
shade.
Yeah,
You always
Need
need shade in the
shade.
park.
you need the shade, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think with this new design, like, you know, I understand Tina's point where kids always like to go on the swings, but if they're waiting for the swings, looks like there's a lot more for them to do
Mhm.
while they're, you know, while they're waiting for a chance on the swing.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna have new sidewalks in here, you know, pathways and things, so that way it's gonna look, it's hard to see because this is just playground equipment. So there's, you know, we could put hopscotch down, we could put other things down, we have the basketball court there. This equipment is like this will be a game changer for the park, I mean, compared to what's there, it's,
I gotta
We're
tell you,
not-
I'm a little jealous that this wasn't done when my kids were little, because I used to go to Harrison to the Barney Park. And this would have been like, you know, around the corner and
right,
it would have been awesome. I'm a little upset. I'm sorry. I'm not
The
gonna lie.
Purple Park in Harris.
so,
No,
the
not the
other-
purple park. That's a different one. The Barney Park with the purple dinosaur.
Yeah, that's the
That one
Purple
was
Park.
smaller. And then the other one, there's 2. The other one was bigger. I like the little enclosed one on the corner. And that was perfect for my kids were little because, you know, Jefferson Avenue Park wasn't really anything.
So the only thing that's going to change in this design is the color of the fire truck. I'm looking to keep all the equipment, the lime green, the gray, and the blue. I think it really pops and really catches the eye of children and really brings a little bit of excitement color-wise into the park. The only thing that's going to change is we're going to switch the color of the fire truck. Whether that be red, blue, green, we have to really see what works with that lime green color, that neon green color.
And I would lean towards the color of the fire truck and the firehouse.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to look at new fire truck for that house,
Oh.
so
Of course.
I want to know what color they make it so we could match.
Yeah. You'll do it and then they'll change the color of the fire truck.
Yeah. So
Have you told them that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep. I've told them. You know, it's cool. This little fire truck. It's gonna say Village of Mamaroneck, FD on it, and it's gonna have a little symbol under it. So you know, it gets the kids involved in that kind of stuff.
and there's like what are those things that they move around like a puzzle, but it's supposed to be like you're doing the water or whatever, but it's like so it's cool.
Yeah,
We
there's
got a
like
little like switches,
steering wheel in it. So
It's got a bell and all that good stuff too, a steering wheel.
no bells. Maybe a little horn, but no bell.
Oh, God,
A
that
little
could be,
horn.
that can get irritating. It's gotta be a very little horn.
Yeah, it's gotta be,
Not be
we're,
happy with the horn.
it's a residential neighborhood. We gotta keep the music to a low
Yeah,
decibel
it's a
or
little
sound stuff, so.
It's got lights on it as well, right, guys? They only go on at midnight, right?
The brightest strobes I could find.
Are the swings gonna be like, are they gonna have baby swings there too? You know, like the little swings, or are they just for the bigger kids?
Yeah, so we're gonna have 2 baby swings and 2 regular swings.
Have you seen the ones at the Harrison Library? They have both attached to one swing. Have you seen those? It's like a baby swing and then someone else can sit on it and they face forward.
So we have those in Columbus Park.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I believe they're
The,
called, mom and dad swings or.
Yeah,
or something like
impression
that.
swings or something. Yeah, so yeah, we do have those in Columbus. I remember. The mom sits on the front, and the kid sits in the seat, and yeah, it's cool. You could maybe try that.
Well, we did that at Columbus because we actually have another swing set right across the park. So there's plenty of swings for toddlers and regular sized kids to utilize those swings.
Well, I think it's
guys.
great.
I have to jump off, but I love it. And I guess it's, the price is still coming. How much is it gonna
Um,
cost?
So
Or it depends what you ultimately decide on the final.
what did we get, Jeff? For it was like
I believe it's 181
just for the equipment, but then there's a lot
just
of
for the
site work.
equipment.
Yeah.
But now we're talking about changing the walkways, the fencing, everything.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, we're
Rubber
looking
surface, yeah.
Rubber surface. That's with the rubber. That's included.
That's with the rubber.
That's
Yes,
with the
that's
rubber.
with the
The
rubber.
equipment plus the rubber plus insulation. It's the site work that we're thinking to. So I was hoping to be able to keep it under at or under 216,000, but Jeff telling me it doesn't look like that's going to be impossible. Because I wanted to try to get 2 parks out of the trust fund money. But what do you think? 250 for Jefferson?
Yeah, we're gonna be in the ballpark at 250.
Wow, so Florence was 180 for just rubber? Is it because it's just so much surface area?
Florence is more in the ballpark of 200 because
Oh,
of the
I'm just
rubber.
looking from your memo. Your memo said 180 for the rubber surface.
Yeah, that was a guesstimate, and then I actually got a closer estimate with one of the contractors, and we're closer to 200,000 because the problem with Florence Park is it used to be an all sand park. When the original company came in and dug it out, they didn't put a proper base in, so it's not like we could rip up just the top and re-pour the rubber surface. We're talking about actually digging down 12 inches, gravel, item 4, topsoil, stone dust, and then putting the rubber surface on top. This way it stays flat and doesn't do the wavy and the ponding.
It's solid.
For this park, for 200 and something, we can get all the rubber and the equipment and everything.
Yes.
Better value, okay.
Definitely better value.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, guys, I have to jump, but I guess I'll see you next month potentially, Tina.
Kristen,
in
by the
person.
way, your Vomni email doesn't work because I tried to send it and it bounced back. So we'll have to get Cliff on it.
So weird, I wonder what
Nori, you're muted.
And you
it-
got the meeting link today, right?
Yeah, but that I sent that early. When I sent the stuff earlier, I didn't get anything. But now I send it to you and it doesn't work. So I don't know.
I sent a
Weird.
note, well, I just sent a note to Cliff. I should have copied Jason.
Oh, okay.
And
All
Matt
right.
had his hand up.
We'll try to get it
Okay.
fixed for you. Okay.
Okay, all right, thanks, guys, see you next month.
Bye.
Bye, Chris.
Take care.
I'm sorry, Nora, who had their hand up?
Manny had his hand up. It's not up now, but he had his hand up.
Manny, you want to talk?
Okay, maybe not.
Can't Manny just unmute when he wants to talk?
He can. Yeah. He certainly can. Tina, what do we got? Because we're running out of time and people get antsy after an hour.
And my minutes are gonna be like a bigger novel.
Yeah.
So we had an email or 2 from residents about adding programming for younger kids. I guess compared to what the town is offering, we don't really have much, and they were hoping to get more programming for like toddler age kids, right?
Yes.
We're working on it. So we were in a pandemic, obviously, for a few years, so we weren't able to do much just by the rules that were set in front of us. But we're working on it. Carrie, I think I sent, did I reply to you with that list? of
You
programs?
did, and the interesting thing is, one of the programs that the email and the Facebook posts specifically mentioned were this USA Sport Group, which I
We do-
see is on this list.
I've done quite a bit of work with USA Sports Group. We haven't done it since right before the pandemic, I think was the last one. So we're working with them now, trying to schedule. I've done golf, basketball, soccer with USA Sports. They're terrific.
So we do use them.
Oh yeah, all the time.
But-
The village managers sign money contracts with them.
I guess the big issue with the complaints that we received was that there's not, because I only see two on here. One is
That is
Senior
right.
Squirts.
We don't have a top. We haven't done a top, but I'll add a top.
Yeah, this is
I
4 to
talked to
5.
So I talked to my colleagues in the town of Amerenik today.
Mhm.
So their programs are not going to fill, according to what I was told by the assistant superintendent, so that there would be room for Rhinebeck residents to join on March 8th. I think she told me was the date. But we're certainly working on programs, so we'll put it out there, and our residents will have first dibs. Like camp, for example, I have a ton of town of Amerenik people that are very upset with me because they can't register for camp yet.
Right.
It's just the
Has
way it
that
goes.
been communicated to, like, Tina, I think did you speak with her last night?
We're gonna speak tomorrow night.
Okay, because I think it's important,
And
the criticism's coming that we don't offer the programs and, the Rhinebeck residents have to wait, but the town of Mamaroneck residents have to wait for the village of Mamaroneck programs, which Rhinebeck is a part of. And I think there's also, as usual, there's so much confusion between town of Rye, town of Mamaroneck, village of Mamaroneck, Portchester, city of Rye. It's all very confusing. I mean, I get frustrated because, for example, the Rye Golf Pool, right? The Rhinebeck residents who have a Rye zip code, they're considered residents. I'm a Rhinebeck resident, but because I have a Mamaroneck zip code, I would have to pay twice the price that my fellow Rhinebeck resident pays for the summer for the Rye Golf Pool. So it all balances out. Everybody's in the same boat.
But they're Rhinebeck School District, but they live in the city of Rye. I mean, that's,
Correct.
so they live
Right.
in the
So,
city of Rye,
but
and
that's
they
what I'm
live
saying.
in
Like,
Portchester.
my Rhinebeck friend who lives in the city of Rye pays half the price that I would have to join the Rye Pool. So it's like,
That's
know,
wow.
No, but-
yes,
Yeah,
they-
wow.
But they don't live in the village. They live in the city of Rye.
I
Right.
understand that, but we're in the same school district. So, when you look at it that way, it's like, well,
It's
it
confusing.
seems a little off. Like, it's unfortunate that the pool wouldn't offer all the Rhinebeck residents that same price. And, because I live in Mamaroneck with a Mamaroneck zip code, I have to pay twice the price. Like, literally, it's like
But-
twice the price.
But again, those people cannot join. They can't take advantage of
The Village of Mamaroneck programs.
unless-
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
so-
just what I think has to be communicated to, the person who sent the email and
But
anyone
but I
else,
also-
because it's hard. It
also-
gets complicated.
Carrie, I completely agree with you. It's I live in Portchester, and the village of Portchester City, right? To me, it's all confusing. And I think when you get into Rhinebeck, I work here, and it's very confusing, even more so than my situation. So I totally get it. But I also want to communicate that any resident of this community can call the recreation department and suggest programs or ask us to offer a program. We'll certainly do it. Now that I know residents are interested in doing 2-3 programs, we're going to work on it. We're going to get something out there, and our residents will have first dibs on it. Like kayaking, folks from the town get frustrated. They don't get first dibs on kayaking programs.
Right.
We do, or paddleboard, or whatever, softball, but we're going to work on it, and we're going to try to offer a great experience for those people that want the top programs.
And I
Jason-
think the other thing that would, I'm sorry, Carlo, I had one more quick thing. I think the other thing, I don't know if I mentioned it when I asked for the list in my email, but that if on the village website, do we have like a brochure like the town of Mamaroneck does?
No, we don't do a brochure. They do it like a traditional brochure. We use RecDesk, and all the programs get like listed on there, and that's how you register through.
But I
our
mean, if
rec-
somebody just wants to look through and find out all the information, it would be great if we had that on the website where somebody doesn't have to, somebody who just wants to see what the village has to offer, doesn't have to register, but can see the programs, just like I can see them on the town of Mamaroneck's website. I can literally click on their brochure and look at everything they have to offer. And if the village could do that and also leave it until the new brochure comes out so that at any point residents can see what the village has to offer throughout the seasons. I think that would be a really great addition to the website.
we can work on, that's a project though. It's going to take me
I
a little
know.
bit of time. It's a
I
project.
know. But
But
I
I
do
get-
think it would help because that's what people are
Yeah.
going on other municipality websites and they can click on a brochure or go to, the recreation area and they can see a list of everything that they offer and, when they can sign up, whether they're residents or not, and et cetera. And I think that would just, I get it's a project, but I think it would be a nice thing to work on so that, like the woman had said, she's like, I went on the website because the mayor said, go on the website. And the only thing there is the camp brochure. It doesn't have any listing of any other programs that the village offers. So they look at it and they're like, well, the village offers nothing.
Well, that's not true. I don't do
I know
nothing
it's
all
not
day.
true, but
We do. We're 12 months out of the year constantly between special events, programs, concerts. I mean, nothing.
I
crazy.
know that, but I've lived here
Anyway,
forever.
I get what you're saying. We will work on that. That's something that I've wanted to do since I've taken over. There's just a lot going on.
I get it.
But I will say though, when those flyers, we do really nice graphical flyers. When those things go out there, the program sells out. So we are successful.
Oh yeah, they're great.
And we're going to start building programs, especially now that the pandemic is hopefully subsided. We also had 2 years where we're limited on what we can do. On the outside is the only place we could use. We don't have an indoor facility, so we're limited. Like I don't have a community room like the Hammock does. I don't have an ice rink. I don't have a pool. I have just grass and a beach. So
Future capital project.
So we get super creative. We have to get super creative because we have zero interior space. It's very
Hey,
difficult.
Jason.
So
Jason, I got a question for you. We used to have a toddlers program,
we did.
right? Pre-COVID, in the blue room there, whatever you want to call it,
Uh-huh.
the plastic mat there. Didn't we have one?
Yeah, we had one for 5
It's like-
years,
Yeah,
4 years.
correct.
Uh-huh. We did. It was like it was a 3 hour per day, 5
Right.
day per week, play group. That's
Correct.
pretty much what it was. But they drop the kids off, they play for 3 hours and then they go home. But there was a lot of
It was illegal.
issues with that program in that the old boss did not properly do it, going through the New York State Child Services and making sure you
Correct.
have permits and all that stuff. It was
Right.
skirting the
But we
line
had
of,
something.
yeah, we did. It was skirting the line. The
Right.
lawyers looked
I
at
hear
it.
you.
It was, we have to be careful on what we do. We're not a licensed daycare facility. So it's one thing to do a sport program or a music program or whatever. It's another thing to run a program like that. So that's why.
Well, I think that's what the people that were inquiring were looking for. They weren't looking for a daycare. They were looking for,
They were
a
looking for-
taekwondo program for their 2-year-old or a soccer program for their 2-year-old. They weren't looking for a daycare or a program like what you used to have. They were looking more for these little sports programs.
And
which
they
we were working on.
I think they were looking for programs where it was like a parent and me or a caregiver and me. It wasn't a drop-off program.
Yeah, the town does like a sports and like a sportish program with their, like, where the parent stays. So we can work on that, and then we could also work on ones where they're some people want to do drop off. I don't know. We'll work on it. Town has a mixture.
Good luck.
So can I just say something? I agree with what Carrie was saying. Looking at the town website is so much easier to navigate and see the different programs that they have. Like if there's a way that we can change ours, I think it would be much better. And I was also going to suggest if there's somewhere on there that you can write, you know, like if you see something that, if you don't see something that you're interested in, please call us and, you know, we're happy to take suggestions or something like that.
Okay, we could add something. Could add something on.
Does anybody have anything else on that? No? Okay. So,
Thank you for getting back to her, Tina. That was very nice.
and I gave them the link to watch the meeting too.
Yep.
So the other item that we added, I received an email that the governor most likely will not be extending the order allowing meetings to be held on Zoom. So that expires March 16th, which means that our next meeting in April will most likely be in person. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. And I don't, and there's like specific rules. So like, if you need to Zoom in, you can't, right?
No, you can't. So you, well, no, oh, yeah, you can zoom in,
Advance notice.
but you have to, yeah, so it has to be part of the meeting notice, and the meeting notice is 72 hours. And now this could change because there's been discussion about that from the state legislature, but I don't know that it will change. You have to give the address that you're meeting, that you are at. So somebody, the public can come to your location. So typically, you know, I don't think they anticipated people zooming in from home. It's when somebody's away and can't come to the meeting. And so it's, you know, if you're traveling someplace, it's unlikely that anybody, but any member of the public, doesn't have to be a village resident, like let's say you're, I don't know, you know, in Massachusetts, and somebody in, you know, Boston, Massachusetts is looking at the village website and decides to go to this hotel to go to a meeting of the village, of some village meeting. That's not likely to happen. So you have to give your location and the public has to have access to it. So it's not, you can't, if you want to zoom in from home, somebody could come and attend at your house.
What about calling in? Is that this, you have to give the same
Well,
notice?
So under these, I've been looking this up because we're trying to do like a handbook for boards and commissions, like what all the rules are. So it's called teleconferencing. So if you, like Manny's not on the screen now, that can't happen. It can happen now because you're allowed to have conference calls, but basically it has to be a video conference in the regular open meetings law requirements. Those are suspended now, so people can call in, so it's okay to be off screen, but you have to be visible and you have to be at a location the public can access. So, and I would say the other wrinkle is, if we're going to be meeting at the rec department, there really isn't a video screen to do it on. So I don't know.
No, I think Trustee Lucas, I believe Jerry told me that we can only use it at 169 or the Village Hall conference room, either courtroom or conference room. We can't do it at the rec department. There are only two options for us, and those are the two. And I think it depends on who's meeting when and what night. I don't. Yeah, right.
So if so both of those facilities have, you know, screens. So somebody could teleconference in, but their location has to be part of the notice and available to the public.
And 72 hours in advance.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I missed, in fact, I missed a village board meeting this summer because we went off. So between like June 6th and September 15th, we were back to in-person meetings, and I had been exposed to COVID. So I couldn't go anywhere, you know, so I couldn't go to the meeting because I got exposed to COVID like on a Sunday. I think I actually didn't get exposed to COVID, but who knew? And so I had to stay home until I got a positive test. And so I couldn't go to the meeting on Monday, and there wasn't enough notice, but even if there had been, I couldn't have anybody in my house. So I think the in-person meeting is more practical.
So we all have to get dressed again, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just keep an eye out for that and the location, because we don't know the location yet either.
Yeah, so I think I received an email from like Sally and Robert. I think they're working together to try to schedule everyone in a location at their normal date and time. So that should be fun for them, I guess. I don't know.
Sure. I
Yeah,
think,
I think for the last few meetings, I think we're in the regatta. If I remember, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time
Yeah.
ago, right?
You're right, Tina.
I'm gonna miss these meetings because I think like it was just so easy.
Easy, yeah.
So easy.
And we've gotten the best participation we've ever gotten when we go on video
Yeah.
versus in person. Yeah,
Because
Right.
there's almost kind of no excuse. You don't
Yeah,
have to go
you-
anywhere. Like
right.
you literally
You
just
c-
log onto your computer and you're at the
You could-
meeting. It's like,
You can call in from your car, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's convenient.
I'm
Yeah.
looking, it's the only meeting scheduled for that night, so it means we might be able to be in the courtroom, which is a little roomier.
Yeah, a little roomier, I agree.
And Nora, is there still a rule like you're not allowed to miss more than a certain number of meetings?
Yeah, you need, well, so the rule is you need to attend, if you miss more than 3 meetings, I think it's in a 12-month period, then the chair of the committee has a conversation with the village manager. And the village manager has a conversation with the person that missed it to make a determination. I mean, it's not for every board and commission. It doesn't, that rule
Right.
doesn't apply to the planning board, or the zoning board, because they are under different rules. But then the village manager has a conversation with that member to see whether it's just a blip on the radar or whether it's going to be ongoing. And then the village manager can decide, figures out whether it's feasible for that person to stay or not.
Or is it I thought it was 3 months straight. If I recall.
Do you want me to look it up?
No.
Okay.
I think that's the case. I think.
Yeah.
Can't remember. 3
But,
consecutive
I mean,
months.
somebody may have extenuating circumstances. So
Right.
it's just,
Mhm.
just to figure out if somebody's really just not coming and not going to participate, you want to find that out and replace that person with somebody who's going to be active.
well, that makes sense.
And do you know if they're filling the empty spot? Because I do know one person that sent it
There
and had
hasn't been
anything.
interest. So if you know someone who wants to join, please encourage them.
No, somebody did send.
Yeah.
Yes, Trustee Lucas, I also have another person who sent it and they haven't heard back either, but they got a confirmation from Sally Roberts that that their resume and letter was
Let
received.
me check with Sally and I'll make sure it gets discussed at the next.
Oh, yeah, I think we might have 2 interested candidates, which is good. So we can,
Person that I know got an email confirming that that Sally received her resume as well.
Okay,
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely there.
I'll check with Sally. I'll check with her tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have. I don't know if Jason or Jeff needed to add in their department update.
I just wanted to say that we opened camp registration on Monday and we have 200 and just about 40 camper. I think it's 36 or 37, 237 registered campers. So residents, that's all residents. So we're doing well. That's a lot in like 2-3 days. It's double than what I got last year. And I don't know if it's because the pandemic's happening or people want to come to camp. I don't know, but it's a good thing. So
I want to go to
I'm-
camp.
I'm very pleased with me too, and I work there. I'm like, I want to do that.
be
So
all
I'm
over
very
again.
pleased. I'm very pleased with how the resident registration is going well.
Congratulations.
Is there a
Um,
max on the camp numbers?
Yeah, there is a max because we have to follow certain ratio staff to counselors. So it's around 350 is the max, but there's certain groups like 3rd and 4th grade, for example, are like filled, so there's certain groups that fill before others. Yeah.
The oldest
Uh,
groups are usually the sparsest.
Yeah. 7th, 8th, and 9th is usually the sparsest. You're right about that. We'll probably fill pre-K 4-year-olds all the way up until 7th, 6th easy. And then 7th, 8th, and 9th will be a little bit more of but we usually get it close, but that might be the only one that might not fill.
Jeff, you have anything or you're good?
No, I mean, right now, we're just, doing some tree trimming around the parks. We're waiting for the weather to break to start the athletic fields and the ball fields. And, you know, busy season, start cutting grass, so we're just, we're waiting for the weather to break. That's it. Other than that.
There are
we're
no big
prepared.
changes from our last meeting. Still the same status quo, still
Still
plugging
the
along.
same, still plugging along, still building docks in-house, getting that ready. We're almost done. I think we have 3 left for the
That's
whole
great.
season. I think
That's
we
awesome.
built, you know, with the harbor master, we've assisted the harbor master in building. I think we're at 31 this off season, all in-house, all during the day. rainy
Never
days.
before.
No, so, you know, we're just chugging along.
And nothing new with the dog park?
The dog park, I believe the board approved something for it, or
We're still, I mean, Jerry.
Well, did anything go in front of the board yet? Nora, I
no,
know you.
I'm sorry, my apologies. It didn't
Yeah.
go in front of the board. It got
Yeah.
approved on our end to have the consultant company,
And then that,
I guess, do that. And then I also had a meeting with Harbor Island Coastal
mm,
and to see if it had any effect with them. So they're going through that now to see if we have to actually permit through the coastal authority because it's so close to the seawall over there.
Jeff, when you say you got approval for the consultant to do what consultant and to do what exactly? Is this having to do with that $19,000 quote? Or
No.
is this something different?
No, this is something different. This is basically to draw up the plans to bring to the Harbor Island Conservatory or consultants to show them what we're doing.
Okay,
And basically they're gonna say it's too close proximity to the water, or they're gonna say, yeah, no problem.
This is HCGM, Jeff?
Yes,
HCCM.
yes.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, so we had a meeting with one of the HTZM reps. And
Okay.
that was, I think, 2 weeks ago.
and who was part of that meeting? You, Jerry? Was Jerry part of the meeting as well?
Me, Dan, and the Harbor HTCZM rep.
Okay,
I forget her name, but I have it in the office.
okay, so still nothing that those of us
Nothing.
that are on the dog park committee can do to help facilitate anything that you guys need.
No, nothing's happening where we need committee members to step in yet, or
Okay.
it's going to the board. But you could go back to the committee members and tell them that things are in motion.
Okay,
We kicked off the beginning. We're doing more than just talking about it right now. And yeah, that's about it. We're waiting to hear back from HTZM, and we'll continue from there.
okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything else?
No, we have to wrap it up or I'm seriously
Yeah.
gonna write a 2-part novel.
Yeah, this is a long one. We usually go about an hour and a half now.
The last one was long. Why do you think I had like 5.5 pages
Yeah.
of minutes, Jason?
We had a
It's
lot of,
true. It was long.
Those were serious minutes.
I can't
Yeah,
help
those
it.
were-
I can't. I just don't know how to make them shorter. I tried. I took stuff
We're gonna
out.
after the end of the 12 months, we're gonna bind them together and see how many.
Right.
Yeah, laminate it
Listen.
and wrap it and give it to you as a gift.
No, I don't need it.
Here's your book of minutes.
okay, so
Thank
can I
you.
have a motion to adjourn the meeting? And the next meeting is going to be on April 6th in person, hopefully. Keep an eye out.
Yep.
Motion.
Second.
Heather's second.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a great
Good
night.
night.
Good night, guys.
Great
Bye,
week.
guys.
Everybody have a great
Well.
night.
Bye.
Bye.